Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I had a very busy day today, and it was nice. Got up 3:30 in the morning, and had a good session of the proactive wellness room in the morning. And ever since I was writing a book, I completed that. That was really great. Um, and I spent some time with friends, and here I am. I want to talk about what do I mean by wellness oriented health systems and why that is important and all that. I worked for several decades as physician and still available for some services, even though I'm mostly online now because I sold my big clinic in 2019, just before the COVID. And then I tried a small clinic in Illinois side a little bit. But it was not like before when I had a full-fledged big clinic doing all the testing, everything in the clinic itself. Anyway, I'm glad that I kind of found this online medicine, and I'm able to help people with burnout, stress reduction, and all that. That's going on. Uh, so what I saw in that 4.5 decades of clinical practice was there's a lot of wastage, first of all, in the medical system, a lot of greed, and a lot of mechanical, right? They don't really treat human beings as human beings as a system, you know, good at technicality, good at research findings, but they don't seep into everybody, right? So that's a thing I ever agreed. And also, it's a tendency to just deal with the symptoms and then send them back home. But the fundamental philosophical question was what are you doing to prevent these things to happen? If the conditions in the society where they are working or living, whatever, they are um, indulging in some behaviors that are really aggravating or causing the diseases in some cases. So we are kind of repairing a little bit and sending back to the same situations which are producing this. So that's what I didn't like. So when I put my practice in 1997, my motto was we are going to attend to the roots of the illnesses. We will treat the process of the illness, but that is not the only thing we will do. We will strive hard to find out what are the roots, like a diet or lack of exercise, lack of sleep, lot of stress, um, society norms and cultures, all those things we kind of take into account. And lots of times, all we have to do was just to care and then tell the patient that we are here with that purpose. And they were very excited. There were a lot of patients who wanted to do their blood tests every 3 months or 6 months. They will come for the preventive, come for the educational sessions, and we were not online at the time, but still I could get a lot of faxes, lot of later on the EMRs came, so people were able to communicate with us better. So I was not like a episodic doctor to many people. I was like a doctor all the time, even though rules have changed. I was available in the night. I was available even on my vacation. But then, because I knew what was going on with my patients all the time, even though they wouldn't go to the emergency room, they used to call me. That worked well for them and for me too, because it's easy to deal with things that we already know. See? Basically, there is a philosophy like these patients are our extended family, and with that, and also service attitude. Let us serve these people. Let's help these people. That kind of thing, right? Even with all that, then I saw lot of chronic disease. Lot of people are really debilitated, or they're suffering either with joint pains or with difficulty breathing, with the lung problems or heart problems or disability due to strokes and all that, right? Uh, the outcomes of the chronic disease are very poor. We thought after we kind of um, implemented EMR systems with a lot of $80 billion or something for the entire country, but we had our own share in the hospital, like several millions of dollars. Once we spent it, we wanted to see that will improve the patient access, patient care, and all that. But it was an illusion. We found out after all that money and everything, still the outcomes of the chronic disease is still going down. Why? And then expenses are going up, and patients were having more morbidity and mortality. That means more of the disease caused impairment, that's the morbidity, and dying of the patients because of the chronic diseases, right? And so seeing all of that, I was very clear about one thing. See, the whole system, including our setup and everything, was only responding to the illness. We don't have the system where people will, really know ahead of time what is going on, and then we try to nip it in the bud. That kind of thing I was looking for, that kind of thing I'm advocating for. That's what I'm going to really give my life to it. That's why this thing has come, this wellness oriented health system. So how does it start? Starts with individual, family, society, and all that, but the systems are important, right? So a clinic like me or hospital like us, what we can have is, we can have a wing much more into preventive medicine, much more into maintenance medicine, much more into really cultivating some habits that breed um, wellness with a long life, and also that has some quality of life, some purpose and meaning, and some kind of joy in their life. Okay, you may call me very naive. You may say that is altruistic and all. No, it's really commonsensical. And also, two things I was looking for. We can save a lot of money that we can direct to education, research, and all that. And we can also really help the planet. Again, you may say I'm naive, but I think I will rest peacefully if I could really do this effort. Whether I will have the results or not, that's another matter. But once I see that this is what I should be doing, knowing that this illness system is can be changed and it's in our hands, and educate patients, educate our colleagues and everybody to really look like that. One idea, one idea I gave to people is run a wellness oasis in the hospital itself. That means just take a room, just put in some material about wellness. So there are so many wellness coaches, health coaches. Let them distribute the material or give the information to the patients who have come into the hospital, and also the relatives and the visitors, everybody. So I even gave the ideas like put a station where they can go and sit down and meditate, or put a station where they can go and practice office yoga. Maybe go and look at the food groups. The dietitian, nutrition can be there, can help them with brochures about what kind of diet they are eating, what are the contents of the diet. Okay, I was at the International Diabetic Center in Minnesota several times. They have these brochures which describe the content of Indian curry, particular curry, with all the spices and everything. Of course, they have American, they have European, they have Italian, everything else, right? But that kind of oasis where they can go and say, okay, this means I have to have self care, comprehensive self care, and these are the sources I have. So, one visit, they can get advice on the diet, optimal exercise, how to sleep better, and also how to calm their mind. This is the four pillars I talk about. We can give them information and resources they can go and explore. Thereby, after they walk out of that wellness oasis, they have a plan or they have some resources they can go explore. They may not change everything all of a sudden. That's fine, but at least we put them on the path. So let us be examples of the wellness living, which I am. So I can tell them, really, because I'm not living somewhere and then asking all my patients to be something. No, I am practicing taking rest. I'm practicing eating when I'm hungry. Also, sit down and eat. Don't indulge in conversation. I am practicing calming the mind twice a day. And I'm also really knowing what is my biological age, what is my chronological age, how can I get it tested and see what the blood tests are. All those things. Once we do that, it's not that I did not get sick before. I did, but then I took all these measures and now I'm well. And since 2014, I have not even taken a Tylenol for anything. So but I'm loaded with a lot of healthy behaviors. Like I get up in the morning. Today I got up at 3:30, and then I'm full of energy, and so I did a lot of work. By the time 6 o'clock, by the time my wife came down after she slept and all that, I already accomplished a lot. And then part of it is yoga. Meditation, spiritual inquiry, and all that. Apart from that, I wanted to complete my book, which I did. Okay. So that was very good. And then I got this call from India as I talked to them. Then it was time to do my proactive wellness here on the new vibe. I'm happy to do it. I did that, and then I made a video on that, and then I already have that published too. I gave it to some friends to see that. And then I was prepared for the next day. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about quantum body. What does it mean? Why is it that's important for us to know? Why are we stuck in the Newtonian mechanical model? Newtonian physics have done good things for us, but it is outdated. It's gone. Now it is quantum mechanics. Okay, that has a separate definition of matter, definition of life, and consciousness, and all that. Okay, get into that, then you will be able to uh, have this holistic approach scientifically. Then bring in the healing sciences that we have in the history of mankind in the form of ancients, like Indian system, Chinese system, Egyptian system, American system. So many people practice so many things. We can borrow some of the hacks from that to nullify the stress that the modern life is giving to us, and lack of emphasis on the self-care, all that. Okay, that kind of thing I want to do. And these 15 days I'm dedicating to the towards wellness oriented health system. Different topics I will be talking, and you are welcome to come and contribute of what you are doing towards this, or is this a new idea? I'm sure it will trigger a lot of ideas for you. And also, can you take some take home points, like every day I will give you 10 take home points on that particular aspect, and go and implement at least one or two of them, and see what the results are. Listen to these talks again, get those take home points, and then you can implement some of them. Okay. So anybody has any questions or any comments, anything that you want to tell me, please come up and present them to me and here to all the friends, and we will be happy to resist them and discuss on them. Don't be shy. You are going to suggest things to me or ask me clarification of what I said. Sometimes people don't understand with my accent, so I don't mind if they ask me what to clarify, but such and such statement. I'll be able to do that. Okay. Uh, so some of the things we did this morning, again, they have to involve the same things that we always talk about. Okay. But in here, I talked about how you're going to be sensitive to your body, listen to your body. There's a whole lot of thing on the really knowing the body, listening to the body. Okay, that itself is a big deal. Suppose the body may be sending you signals, and maybe of the imbalance, or maybe something is not right, then you got to listen to that. Suppose you have a belly fat, we were just talking in Julie's room. Then you got to know subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. The visceral fat is much more serious. It's a kind of, it's not that subcutaneous fat goes there. It's an indication that your metabolism is not really operating optimally. And then there are breathing exercises you can do that will really stimulate your metabolism. You know, so you got to work with. I have a guest here finally. Let's see. Again. So that we'll talk about it after I'm done with Hakim. Okay. Hi, Hakim.
Hey,
Long,
Dr. Rao.
long time no see, huh?
That's right. Yeah. Um, Thanks again for all of your advice and everything
Yeah.
on my talk earlier today.
Sure, sure.
I just, as you were talking about metabolism and the different foods and everything,
Hmm.
I just I realized something that's been happening with me lately is for some reason I'm eating a lot less,
Okay.
but I'm eating more nutrient dense food. So I'm
Hmm.
eating very plain, you know, just vegetables lightly steamed, meat, nothing that doesn't look like the the original way that it was grown out of the earth or running around in a field somewhere, and and drinking mostly just tea
Hmm.
and a lot of water, and I'm kind of addicted to kombucha, but I'm not hungry, and my energy levels like really went up through the roof,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't have any of those cravings for anything sweet unless it's fruit.
That's good.
I like to eat,
Yeah.
and I find it interesting that the less I'm eating,
Mm-hmm.
I still have more energy,
Yeah.
and I don't have any of those weird cravings, and all of the food tastes really good to me as well. Like I don't need to put
Yeah.
any flavorings or seasonings where people talk about even just they don't like the taste of water.
You see, even the medical terminology, Hakim, they are giving clues to us. Metabolic syndrome. That's because when your waist is high and then fat is higher, and we know that is not good. And that's why the metabolism is slowing down. Instead of burning the calories and the fat, it is turning calories into the fat and storing. Everybody knows that. But then what can we do with that is not really told. For example,
Metabolic syndrome.
yeah, metabolic syndrome.
Have you just a little sidetrack? Have you heard of I'm not sure what the author's name is, but he is a Nobel Prize winner, and he wrote a book in the 1970s called "The Guided Tour of the Living Cell."
Mm.
And one of the things that he talked about in the book was something called lysosomal storage disease, where the
Yeah.
lysosomes in the cells that are
Yeah.
responsible for getting rid of any type of xenobiotics or usually undigestible molecules, the
That's the
lysosomes get
that's the
to a
initial
point where they can't.
yeah, initial research. But right now we are very very advanced in the cellular biometabolism, and we can you can come back, Hakim, if you want to. It's a kind of uh, we have this ability to diagnose your biological health, compare it to the chronological health. What his Hakim was describing was his biological cellular metabolism was very efficient, and that's why he was having more burning of whatever he is consuming. It's like a aerobic metabolism is much better with
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
you know what it feels like, Dr. Rao?
Yeah.
That simply what I'm eating is more completely being
Observed,
metabolized.
observed, and then metabolized it too. What happens is
Right.
that's
Oh,
why
yeah, the metabolism and
yeah,
absorption. Yeah.
absorption, and also at the cellular level converting that calories into ATPs much more, because your mitochondria is really working very well. And all this is because, for example, I was tell simply, you are, for example, you are doing a pose in yoga. You are
Yeah.
initiating certain muscle groups to really stretch and demand blood. Now you're deep breathing, so you are getting more oxygen into your lungs and absorption into your thing because there is a demand by the muscle groups. That's why more of oxygen will seep into your blood and go to the areas where it is demanding. And once they go more aerobic exercise, and that is utilized, and then more of absorption happen. That's why we have to have a ravenous appetite before we eat. Then all
Mm.
this process will be hastened, and then there will be like an emergency, like body is creating the need, and also all this process speeded up. See, that's where you got to understand this. I'm talking to people about nutrigenomics. What happens is, how is your,
Oh, wow.
yeah, how is your
Yeah,
metabolic,
that's
yeah,
nutrigenomics.
yeah, that's going to be very, very valuable for us, because right now gene editing we are doing for certain diseases and trying to, like a sickle cell anemia, for example, and now we are trying to completely reverse the suffering. See, I have seen,
Dr. Rao,
yeah.
I have another. So I went to go years ago. I visited a doctor who uses the title orthomolecular physician,
Hmm.
and she has a whole book she wrote about nutrigenomics and basically how you can alter the genetic expression by
Yeah.
using different nutrients to affect the
Yeah.
methyl group, the
Yeah.
CH4 group that attaches to or moves away from the DNA to either express or to
Yeah.
suppress the gene expression.
You know, I have read this a long time ago, but then Ayurveda described this in a different way, the same thing. So that's why I'm so excited when I saw the correlation between the two and how we can use that knowledge coming up in a scientific manner.
Yeah.
So I think it is going out too early. Maybe I reduce the time like everybody else. Sorry, Hakim, you can come back if you want. I don't think anybody. Yeah, this nutrigenomics are very important. There's a lot done. I gave a couple of lectures on this, showing where the research is, where the findings are. I don't want to lead people that they can use it tomorrow. It's not there yet, but it is going to be very available. I'm expecting in 5 to 10 years. Some of it will be, even now, gene editing, CRISPR. You can use it. You can do some things at home, and you can send it in, and you'll get the results accordingly. You can act. See, the bioenergies that were described both in scientific medicine and also Ayurveda, they are talking about what kind of life forces are within you, our energy body, and how you
Mm.
can understand and eat foods accordingly. For example, you are going for a test and you got to be alert and do it. Don't eat a heavy food for lunch. That's the common sense, right? Everybody knows about it. But then the mechanism how that works is important. And then also selection. Okay, suppose you take only fruits for 72 hours, like what Hakim was talking about, his energy is going up, he's eating less, that will manifest. But then you have complications of psychological hang-ups on foods, taste, social, all those things are there. So you cannot really,
Yeah,
yeah,
they can get in the way, but
yeah,
I've become pretty resilient, especially because I spend most of my time by
yeah,
myself.
yeah,
So I don't have any of that social pressure to do
yeah.
most of the things that people are doing because unless I'm working on set or
Hmm.
doing some kind of gig, then I'm not around people. And
Probably you
even if
have,
I am, like right now at the bookstore, I stay
yeah.
just I'm just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Even though I'm around people, I don't necessarily interact at all.
That's very nice. That's very nice because a lot of people go to the lunch. Obese people go with obese people and they eat. Cisco has done this national study where they found out obese people like to sit with obese people because they don't question you how much you are eating
Right.
now. So they happily
Exactly.
they can eat as much as they want. That kind of thing.
Well,
I'm.
Dr. Ra, I'm going to listen. I'm not going to take any
Yeah.
more of the time on your stage here, but I'll be hanging out until you're done. So
Sure, sure, sure.
I know we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, sure, sure. Tell me that lady's name. I will get that nutrigenic book and then read it.
You mean the physician?
Yeah.
It's in my my storage facility in Encino
Hmm.
right now. But let me see. It's man, she,
You can
I
take
know
your
she's
time.
an orthomolecular practitioner, but if I find it in the next few minutes, I'll come back up and let you know what it is.
Okay,
But
just to put it
but
on
I,
the
yeah,
message or something. I will chat. I will.
yeah. I'll
Thanks.
see if I can find it.
Yeah, thanks, Hakim.
All right.
So,
Later, Dr. Rowe.
what Hakim made a point about eating less and having more energy is quite possible. Okay. Again, I'm going to the yoga thing. There is a division of people they made according to how many times they are eating, right? Yoga people are ekabhukta. That means only one meal a day they will eat. Whereas a householder can have 2 meals a day. But a person with a lot of illnesses will eat 3 times a day. So they kind of enumerated the amount of food you eat and the corresponding metabolism. And also, people inherit an ectomorphic, mesomorphic, and endomorphic body type. Endomorphic are the ones who are accumulate a lot of brown fat. They can see the food and then they will accumulate fat. That is division that in the modern medicine we say endomorphic people are really obese. They could be pear shaped or apple shaped, but they accumulate all the fat in all pockets of their body because they are not able to metabolize any, so they are constantly depressed, tired, and they want to eat food a lot without really having the appetite and all that. They're out of habit and they continue to go to a lot of it. That is what is going on with obesity with a lot of people. So it's a combination of factors are acting, but some things are in our control. We can be allowing our hunger to grow and don't eat a snack and all the time, don't eat fit all the time, but have some discipline, like I'm going to eat only 3 or 2 meals, that's fine. But also I will have a good breakfast. If I'm getting up in the morning, a lot of people go to bed in the morning, so whenever you get up, that's when 12 hours of fasting you have done. If you have done, then you break that fast with the best meal early, and then you go and walk, right? The best meal can have all food groups, but the better thing would be eat live food. That means not the cooked food, not the processed food, but the fruits and vegetable salads, some soups from that, all that is freshly made and all that. But as much as possible, live food, not the meat and all those things that are dead and that are putrefied. But there's a choice again. If you are to eat meat, reduce that, but have these nuts and fruits and vegetables again. Have a good breakfast, okay, and then sit down and eat it slowly so that you don't have to consume a lot in hurry, right? And then it is masticated well, that is like it is munched and chewed very well, then it will produce a better kind in the stomach, so the digestion starts in the mouth. So give enough time for it to stay in the mouth, and then the chyme means small particles that are made in the stomach, so that they will be absorbed into the blood vessels. So the better eating you do, the act of eating, the better for you, right? So remember that, and then give enough time. Another thing is, when you are chewing very slowly, what happens is you will secrete so much of saliva. It is said 1/3 of your stomach will be filled by saliva, so that the quantity of food you are consuming can also be less, because you have a satiety of the stomach stretching and you have the feeling of satiety. Once it comes, then you don't feel like eating anymore. So that's why eat slowly, allow the satiety to happen within 20 minutes. By the way, whether you eat or not, satiety happens. But then if you don't have the food to get the energy, you may feel very, very weak later on. Okay. Also, if you have diabetes, if you have heart problems, so many things are there, right, people? So eat, taking time, and really savoring it, and eating only when you are hungry. Then, like we discussed with Hakim, the whole process really hasn't. You have a ravenous appetite. That means body is giving signals, I need fuel. And then the moment you allow the food to be chewed and then go there good time, that is absorbed faster and then taken to the cells and metabolized so that you produce all the energy. I'm being very layman language here because I just want people to get it. I'm sure a lot of people know this, I'm just repeating it. And then whatever you consume, if it is converting this, that becomes the habit of the body, and then it doesn't have to store it in fat, it will expenditure because you are eating and you're moving, you are doing other stuff, right? So that's very, very important thing. Couple of things I will give you the tips how you can do yoga and also really improve your digestion, also your excretion, and also your reproductive function by doing this couple of breathing exercises. One is called Agni Sara, which Agni means fire. It generates fire around the belly, right? That's why. So what you do is you just sit in the chair with your spine straight, and then you kind of take a deep breath and then breathe out completely. In that stage when breath is completely out, then you kind of move the abdominal wall up and down. You squeeze the abdominal wall towards the spine and then do it. All the time you are holding the breath. Up to 20 times you can do, but in the beginning you may start with one or two or five, whatever. Go gradual and do this every day in the morning on an empty stomach, and see how your metabolism or appetite, everything go up. It won't happen just because you're doing once in a week. No, you got to do it every day, and then the more you do it, the better you do it, the better will be your results. So all these sciences of yesteryear or healing systems based on awareness of the ancients, they are lifestyles to be lived every day, not do them fashionably once in a while. They won't work then. So that's why it's very difficult for a lot of Western people to do this. Now, this lifestyle is also in India and other places too. So I would say modern and ancient. I don't say Eastern and Western anymore because everything has become one. Everybody is picking up the bad habits and then they are using them good habits only when they get hurt or when they get disease. My thing is, how can I delay the sickness? How can I get them back from being sick to normal? And how can I maintain that? That is where the health systems also have to be oriented towards the wellness. The other exercise that you could do to stimulate your appetite and your really expenditure of energy and all that is when you are standing and you bend your knees and then imagine a chair and sit down, and now place your hands on the knees. Now what you can do, what's called abdominal churning. Initially, it may not be you have a protruding abdomen, you may not do any movement. But then, as you are imagining the muscles that you are contracting the abdominal wall and going towards the spine, then moving side to side, then that's the churning happens. But you should see the yogis when they do it. You will be really disturbed because they do it so well. It makes us feel ashamed of that. But then that's not the idea. The idea is catch and don't say practice. Don't try to put pressure on yourself like I have to do that way. Don't do that. Start it slowly. It's a slow, steady process, and you got to do in comfort. If you do that, then these two exercises will help you to get digestion improve, because it is the massage of the internal organs by these maneuvers help you improve your metabolism. Even if you are just active, if you are moving all the time, not really being sedentary in chairs and in beds and sofas, you will be better off. Walk whenever you can. Don't take the car if you don't need to. Take elevators. Be functionally fit. That means do all the things. Maybe some help with the garden, or maybe some help with the kitchen. Maybe go up and down if you have staircase in the home. All those things you can use any circumstance, any area to do this exercise. Okay, but the consideration here is why we are going to the wellness oriented health system, because first of all you have to have an idea. Hospitals, they can cure illnesses fine, but they should have a wing that really gives you this opportunity to learn about how to be well. Hi, Jacob. So it's a kind of question of having that awareness that we could be better. We don't have to really neglect our self care, that kind of thing. If you have those, then you will be able to be aware of what is wellness, what are the things I can do, how can I improve them with the simple things. Move the body, keep the mind silent, eat well, drink enough, and sleep well, and calm your mind. If you can do that, you will achieve a lot with the wellness aspect. But it has to be like a lifestyle. It has to be like something practical, common things that you can do. Go to the market, pick up a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, multicolored. Okay, and then reduce the grains and seasoned food and processed food as much as possible. If you plan like that, you don't have to be really obsessed about it, but you can go to McDonald's, you can ask them for salad. That's what I do when I travel. I go to the McDonald's. There are some healthy choices that they made lately, last few years, and whenever I stop there, I don't have to eat all the burgers, fries, and all of that. I only eat the salads, the uh, simple what is that, oatmeal. Those things are there, healthy choices. And we carry food also. Our food is fruits and vegetables we carry. You could take cups and then cut carrots into small pieces and put them there and use them as the healthy snacks with a nicely made something condiments and all that. You can make them interesting, right? So I taught this to my children, so that when they come home from there, there are already glasses of full of vegetables cut there and put it there, and they will take a dip and eat them. Fruits, they will eat them. So they can have other things too, but then focus on getting these things more. And then your palate, your stomach will tolerate that, and down the line, it will reward you. Okay. So, so this morning, Jacob, I presented this proactive wellness with first chapter of wellness oriented health systems, and I made a movie on that. Let me come and pin it here. Okay, then you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. I'll pin it. Okay, I'll bring it from my messages.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. This is the first day I did the talk, and immediately I came and made the video. That's a nice thing. Yeah, there it is. You can see that, Jacob. Okay, Fran. So whoever is in the clubhouse, they can see that. And I don't know whether I can pin it somewhere here in the Noom Vibe, um, but this is on the YouTube too. You can visit my YouTube. It's simple, Rahul Soup, and you can see it there. I posted there too. Any questions, Jacob, about this? In that video, I did bring out those 5 principles based on one of the principles is just be sensitive to your body and really know what's going on, and also do the balance of body, mind, your emotions, and the spirit, like that. Five principles and 10 take home points. Today is about foundational, and tomorrow we're going to talk about how the quantum body, that is the latest understanding. People are trying to really work with that. I think that will be interesting tomorrow. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's at 7
Central.
a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. Before I come to the yoga class, that's where I go. I do it for half an hour or 45 minutes.
Do you do the yoga on the weekends as well?
No, I'm not doing on the weekends because a lot of things have come, and I'm very busy on the weekends, getting caught up with things. So family, shopping for them and all that, which is, I enjoy the 2 days off, but then I do it, but I don't stream it with students because they want a break also. So,
Hmm. Makes sense. Yeah.
but I do it every day. It's automatic for me. So, and then you know what? Be in touch with your body, then you can do just that part. Like, for example, you have some side pull the other day when we were doing something, you felt it. Be in touch with all the parts of the body, not in an obsessive sense, but in just being knowing what's going on with my body. Where are the problems? And do I have back pain? Do I have shoulder pain? You know, that kind of touch. And then as you are doing them, you will see the progress by yourself. That's how I did all these years from 2014 when I was in the hospital after I came out. From then on, I did not take any medications. And also I was improving this physical exercise capacity slowly, functional exercise, and also chair yoga, walking yoga, lots of things I do routinely without really being the pressure of have to cater a separate time for that and then remember and do. Is all automatic. It has become okay. After a while, it becomes like that. So
I just played basketball, and I'm
good.
thinking about
Mm.
exercises for my knees.
Mm. Yeah, there are a couple of things that you could do. I can tell you right offhand how what you can sit in the chair, and then if you have ankle weights, you can have them. Otherwise, you don't. You can get up on the toes and go down, get up on the heels. That is one thing, and also you raise one foot at a time all the way up so that the knee is straight, and then hold it like that, and then at the time you just extend your toes toward away from you. That's a simple thing you can do. You can do 10 times of that. And you can vary it, a variation on that several times. You can do that. Okay. When next time when you come in, I will show you everything oriented to knee, three or four exercises that you can do 2 times a day, and you will get a lot more. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, this is what I do with the athletes, with different activities people come. So we kind of help them to understand why it is coming, because the joints, they have the muscles and tendons supporting them, right? You got to work on them because lots of times this prolonged sitting or relaxing beds and all that, they produce this. So we have to understand what are the creature comfort that may be aggravating this knee pain, and also the excessive use, repetitive trauma we call it, can be doing during the basketball. That's why you prepare your joints so that they can take the jumps and they can take all the trauma that you sustain with the activity. So if you don't have a strong equipment, then it's going to bother you. But on the other hand, if you do this before games, before practice, and then after you come, really understand what are the strains and stresses of those joints and do them away from the game, then when you go to the game, your performance also will increase. physical performance, athletic performance. So football people, I taught yoga. Basketball, I taught yoga. Of course, tennis, it depends upon what they are paying and how their joints are. And if you do them, they will be very happy because they are playing. Because when you are playing, you should be getting benefit. You should be mentally relaxed, and you should be really getting stronger. But if you are not strong, you can have repetitive stress injury, and that's why these things go down as they are playing. They do excessive playing sometimes. That's also not good.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, like, I was doing finger exercises due to
Mhm.
finger injuries. Right now, I'm doing some ankle
Mm.
rotations because you brought up football and tennis, and
Mm.
I'm like, oh my god, my ankles
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah. I mean, that is because excessive exposure without really doing the preliminary work and also after the game part. That's people don't use that. Unless they are very serious athletes, they are professionals and all that. But the same subjective thing will be. And also you may have inherited some joint problems too. You got to look into that. uh, Also, some of the nutrients are important. For example, the synovial fluid in the knees, that has to be lubricating your joints, right? So if you do certain diets, which I can suggest to you, that you can do. Once I see your components of your diet, I will tell you this will be, maybe reduce that and see what happens. Yeah, all these things you won't have the results right away, Jacob. That's one of the difficulties too. But the breathing is something that can give you results right away. But exercises take time. Strengthening the knees, around the knees, is take time. So basically, you got to observe your lifestyle and then take active measures to have them as therapeutic lifestyle changes. That's what I call. But the more you implement them, the better it is for you.
One step at a time, consistency.
Mm. You got to have that kind of dedication and discipline. People with lot of pro roles, they do that, but I'm talking about ordinary people who are playing just for the pleasure. They should be more having these routines that are done regularly. That's why implement them as part of your daily pleasure, then it will be done better. But if you think it's like a punishment, I can't get up in the morning, and that is not good. That will have more stress. So but if you that's why I tell my doctors, because they can't make time lots of times to go to studio. They may have paid a gym membership or YMCA. I myself paid a YMCA before, and for a year I did not use it. They said, why I'm paying every month if I'm not able to go? I didn't have time. So I incorporated my own yoga studio, my own functional exercise, like a, I have this big clinic. I have 8 exam rooms, so I have big corridor that can go around. So I deliberately walked there 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the evening. So you can find opportunities where you are working in your work environment. You can find out, what can I do that is functional exercise for me, and where you don't have to carry any weights, only your body weight you can do. Suppose you have 4 steps somewhere, just stand on the bottom and then go up 1 step at a time and then do 20, 30 times. That will really strengthen your calf muscles. So we can do a lot of, but then people don't have the patience or uh, like a persistence to do those. But if you can think of all these things, lots of opportunities. I take pride in this, Jacob. Any doctor, nurse, or anybody I'm working in, if they are not putting enough optimal exercise that I think they should be doing, then I go and visit their workplace mentally, and then I will find opportunities for them to involve in this functional exercise. You can also do that. I can tell you can tell me, then I can talk to you. I can show you what are the things that you could implement daily without really much effort or much hoopla. It will be normal. Okay.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, we will sit down and talk, and then you can tell me what is that you do, where do you do, what kind of work environment, and then we can divide it. Like for example, doctors and nurses, they sit down and dictate a lot, sometimes 2 3 hours and all that. But they get to move to the patient room, and then they take elevators, and then they kind of do everything online and all that. So if you are doing the dictation, you don't have to do it. When you have a call, you're doing it. I ask them to get up and walk around the table. It looks silly in the beginning, but then once they understood they can always do it, they felt much better. Just to move the body and keep the mind calm. That's the health principle. That's it. Okay, I think we are reaching the top of the hour. Any questions, Jacob or Fran, Abir? You guys want to come up, and you can ask me anything if you want. There are people in here, like 31 people on the Noom Vibe. Anybody wants to come up, you're more than welcome. Before I leave, it's almost 7 o'clock when I leave. Anyway. So, once again, this series is going to continue. Tomorrow, quantum body. That's what we're going to talk about. And I think it's very interesting for you. This is like a panoramic view of what happened with Newtonian physics and why the health system is stuck in that mechanical model, reductionist model, whereas ancient sciences are now coming up also to really involve the whole human being, the body, the mind, the spirit, the emotions, and all of them should have a balance, and how the quantum mechanics itself are defining that paradigm. So it's like a huge paradigm shift that should be adopted a long time ago. I can in my practice, I can update a lot of things on my own. Look at me, I'm the beneficiary of that. My patients are beneficiary of that. My students are, if they listen and do that. They half listen, they do half, and then it is not going to work. But if they listen, they incorporate these therapeutic lifestyle changes as regular as possible. But you cannot go back to the lifestyles that causes the problems for you. As a society, that's what is happening for us. We are kind of processor food and entertainment and sedentary activity, lot of mental agitation, lot of sensory overload, lot of reactivity, drug abuse. For me, smoking, alcohol, also drug abuse. Okay, so I don't support it. Even drinking the carbonated drink, I don't approve. I don't drink, I don't approve also, because there are a lot of calories that they hide. You guys don't know, and you kind of get addicted or tolerated the drinks, and a lot of wasted calories they go there, and it's more harm is in really affecting your circadian rhythms, internal metabolic process. That's not good at all. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow morning with that talk. I'm also excited about it because every time I go into it, more and more things come out. So I get very excited with that talk. I will do that even this Saturday tomorrow, because I put one talk for each day for the rest of the month based on this wellness oriented health system, what we can do. Okay, so thank you, and I will see you again tomorrow. Okay.
Bye, Dr. Rao. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
through that up to such a long age and still